What's up guys, this is Riding with D. This is the Yamaha YZ250. Let's check it out. All right guys, so the Yamaha YZ250, right? Getting into big boy territory here. Obviously this is a full-size bike, so we can take a look here. This one does have some modifications. I do have it set up more for an off-road setting because again, I do more trails, single track, rather than racetrack whenever it comes to that. But don't be confused, this is a race bike, so definitely keep that in mind whenever we're taking a look at it here. So these, not necessarily all that great, but they do the trick, at least just keeping some briars and stuff off your hands. I will not suggest them as far as like saving your levers or anything like that. They make definitely some better ones. Those are obviously pretty cheap. This has the FMF exhaust, full exhaust on it. Again, it's for off-road. I have the E-line. I'll leave the link in the description below. But E-line carbon fiber protector. That way you don't get all those dings and stuff. Now don't get confused. If you hit this pretty hard, you can still get a ding or a dent within your exhaust. But this definitely helps. So as far as rock chips and stuff that are being thrown up, this helps out a lot. Just a nice polymer, or that's just a fancy word for saying plastic guard here. It just helps with sticks and stuff just to keep them from going into my engine case, kind of pushing them back. It definitely does the job. It works, but I mean, it's not going to stop something. If you case it really bad on a rock, it's definitely going to get through this, so don't get confused with that. It's mainly just to keep everything from sort of sticking up in throughout your engine case and stuff. Just guards here for whenever I actually wear my boots. My riding boots, whenever I'm riding for long periods of time, I wear those. This just sort of helps with that. And believe it or not, the main reason is it kind of helps you stick to it. It has a nice texture here that whenever I close in, it can sort of help you grab the bike more with your actual boots, and it just kind of gives you that little more control, at least a feeling whenever it comes to it. Nice guard here, again, just polymer, nothing fancy whenever it comes to that. Again, this is more for trail riding. Nice brakes. Again, this is a YZ250. So it comes with, things for as far as for racing and such thing. I do have a flywheel weight on this thing where it doesn't kick in as hard. You do tell a little bit of a difference, but for me, it wasn't just something huge like where I would actually recommend it for everybody. Some of y'all might have a different experience, but yeah, so, be that as it may, as far as for me having the flywheel weight and everything on this thing, it wasn't something that I just could tell a huge difference to where I would just recommend it for everybody. One thing that's a must if you're using these things in the trails, I actually used it right before I got here to have to pick limbs up. We've had some storms and stuff around here, so kickstand for these things. This one's just nice CNC. Some of y'all might have had some experience with these, I get it, but you save about $50 to $70 whenever you get these, and it's basically a clone of, I forget the other brand's name, but it's the clone of that. The only thing is that they're black or like crazy colors, like blue. Some people might like that. I actually wanted it to be the aluminum finish color, but they didn't have that. I had to go with black. Just if you do buy these, just make sure you search on the internet. You can find coupon codes like everywhere for this particular website. So if you're wanting to get this, don't pay the full price. You can find a coupon code somewhere on the internet, trust me, because it took me a little bit, but I was able to get a decent amount off where it made me, where I saved about 70 bucks compared to others. And it works. So far for me, I haven't had any problems with the spring failing and it coming down or anything like that. It's worked pretty good. So yeah, obviously Twin Air, with this thing as far as the air filter. It's a great bike. I got it used. So far it's been really good. It was basically new. The person that had it before me didn't really ride it all that much. So pretty much a new bike. Can't really complain about that. So yeah, enough talking. Let's take this thing for a ride. All right, everybody. So the YZ250. Nice kickstand there, as we can tell. So I'm 5'10", 155. I'm pretty much on my tippy toes. So you can see here, I have this, balls on my feet, but you know, you can tell that this is definitely a full-size bike. No electric start on this thing, so you gotta be a man and Kickstarter. Let's go for a ride. Come on, Droney. So yeah, I mean, this is obviously a full-size bike. If you hadn't noticed already, hopefully you know this is a YZ250, not the YZ250F. So she is two-stroke. Just so if you're looking at one of these, just know that. And no, it's not like a KTM where you get the electric start on the two-stroke. It is a kickstart. So I will say in the trails, you would like an electric start, but you know, hey, it's something you just get used to if you're, you know, using it a good bit. Teaches you nice clutch control, you know, things like that, where she's not gonna, you know, go dead or anything. So I'm taking it easy right now. Obviously, where my little drone can keep up, I just sort of want you to see as far as my size and then how it might relate to you, just how it looks whenever I'm actually just riding around on it. Again, 5'10", 155. Easy bike to ride, but again, I have this thing tuned for the trails. You know, different than a four-stroke, just like all the other two-strokes that I have and that I've reviewed. I'm sort of partial to them. It's probably because I grew up on a two-stroke 80, but you know, I can see, definitely understand the four-strokes, the electric bikes. I mean, I get it, trust me. It's not something I'm just overlooking. I'm not. But I'm just letting you know that I could be biased just because I grew up on them. Again, this thing's tuned for the trails. I'm going really slow. I'd normally be going a little bit quicker through here. So that might be why she's bouncing around a little more than usual. So just keep that in mind whenever we're going through here. But I have the suspension tuned to be a little bit softer, again, for the trails. But hey, it's fully adjustable, so that's easy to do for anybody. You can, you know, sort of tune it for however you want it. To me, I like it a little bit softer for the trails just because it soaks everything up a lot better. So get her on back here. Oh, look at that. Drone came back. Not too bad. Nice DJI. See if she can keep up there. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy bike to ride even for my size. You know, there's a lot of different options out there nowadays, so, you know, you don't necessarily have to get the 250, but this thing has power for days. It's definitely gonna have all the power you would probably want, especially for just an average rider like me. You know, it's more power than I'll ever need. This bike is definitely for somebody with more experience than I am, but you know, so if you're a beginner, this might not be for you, but you can tune it to a degree to where it would be. You seen how it is on the drone? Let's keep her going. Again, nice suspension on this thing. You can't really beat the suspension on these YZs. They just sort of soak up the bumps if you have them tuned that way. Again, she is a two-stroke. Kicks in real nice. Oh yeah. Power for days. This is really rocky. I don't know if you can tell through the camera, but this definitely will test your suspension right here, and it's definitely passing, so great. Let's do a little single track here, see how she does. So just to give you a reference, I'm not comparing this to the KLX by all means. They're different. One's a trail bike, this is a race bike, okay? So, but to give you a reference on power, this thing has, you know, high 40s, low 50s in horsepower. And also, she only weighs like 225, 230 pounds. The KLX, well, depending on what you read, of course I haven't had it on the dyno or anything. I do have a KLX 300. A little bit of limbs here. Again, we've had some storms in this area. High 20s, low 30s has been very generous to that bike. So, and, you know, it weighs close to 300 pounds. It doesn't feel that heavy to me, but if you look it up, it says like 300 pounds. So, yeah. So if you want a light bike with a lot of power, this could be it. Again, 200, 225, 235, close to 50 horsepower. You definitely can feel it. I mean, you know, it's just, it goes, it just kicks in. That's even with the flywheel weight, and this thing still just picks up. KLX, so why would you want from one to the other? That's the big question that a lot of people that maybe they're not as experienced might would ask. But again, I'm no expert, I'm just gonna tell you from my experience. KLX, slower power, heavier, you know, so on and so forth. So you hit bumps with this thing. With it being lighter with a lot of power, it's gonna push you around. It's gonna throw you from one side to the other. Compared to the KLX, with that more of the weights, it can actually soak those bumps more and then push through without throwing you all the way to the other side of the road, the trail, whatever. So that's where, okay, weight is great. And then with the KLX having, you know, less power, it's more like a tractor. Compared to this thing, it is almost like, I don't know if anyone's into cars that watch this channel, but like an old school Porsche Turbo where it sort of spools up and takes you for a ride. So just something to keep in mind with these things. It's a great bike though. You got a little bit of experience with this thing. I mean, like, I can lug around really good with it. You know, it can get through the trails. Where something being lighter comes in, if you're a smaller guy, kind of like me, I don't weigh a whole lot, but I can sort of toss this thing around compared to the heavier bikes. It just kicks in and goes. I mean, if you need the power, it's there. Great suspension, I mean. And again, lugging around. You can lug through the trails. Yeah, you need to do a little bit of clutch work. Still has good torque. It's not like, you know, some of the lower CC bikes where it's, you know, a little bit harder to get it to creep up a hill. This thing does it with ease. I mean, of course, it wants to go. It's a race bike. It's happier at higher RPMs, no doubt. As long as you get the clutch work down to get it going, then I mean you're gonna be fine. It's definitely a good experience. Great bike. Look out for the used market on these things. You can usually find a pretty decent deal. And you tune them right, they're great trail bikes as well. Just have them tuned well, take care of them. Don't rag them out, and this thing will run for a long time, and you can hand it down, sell it. If you get a good deal on it, like you can see some, they just about bottom out with value, and you can get your money back after you rode it for a while and you want to move up to something else. Let me know what you think about the YZ250. Leave a comment below, hit the button, let me know if you have any questions. Check out the actual affiliate links if you want some of the parts that are on this thing. That's kind of how I keep this channel going. So if you have any questions, guys, just ask me. Until next time, thanks for watching.